Now, I didn't really want to do this because the supercharger needs rebuilt, but the kit just shipped from Germany, so it's not going to be here anytime soon. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and bolt the supercharger on with the old gasket again. I'm not putting that new one on yet. I just put it on with the old gasket. It's easy enough to take on and off. It's 4 bolts. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. And I want to see how this thing runs. I feel certain it's going to run good, but I want to get this thing running. I'm not even going to put antifreeze. Actually, I probably should. I'm going to put antifreeze in this. We'll get it going. No revs or anything like that. I just want to get it up and running. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Alright, so I was nervous for the longest time here. I took the plugs out, they were all wet. So I'm like, well, I'm not getting spark. So I cleaned them all off, put them back in. Well, first I turned it over with a rag in there because I did have oil in the cylinders and stuff, and I thought, well, maybe it fouled all the plugs. So cleaned all the plugs off, then turned it over with the plugs out with rags over it to shoot out any excess oil that was in there. So then I put them back in, and it still didn't run. It kept kicking the 4-ways on. I don't know what was going on there. So then checked for spark, and I had spark, and I'm like, I have fuel, I have spark. It's either timing or compression. And that was who I'm telling you. I was getting a little nervous, so last ditch effort, I stuck a jumper pack on it. Lo and behold, that's what it was. The battery was so low it just didn't want to fire. I only cranked it, I only let it run for a second, so. Alright, make a liar out of me. I'm going to reset the battery. Maybe the jumper pack's not working now. And I just had it running. This jumper pack, I'm gonna hook it on up front. Just had the freaking thing running. What the hell? Jump it up here where they want you to jump it. Let's see if that makes a difference. Starting to tick me off now. Now that it's kicking on and off, it wasn't working. It's the battery. Let me get a better jumper pack on. That's what it is. The battery's just not. And this thing kicks on and off. That's why it was ramping up and down. Why am I not getting a strong enough spark? Ooh. This thing. Oh, he jumps down to 50% now. So this thing, I'm telling you. Can I get a good jumper pack? Can I get one that works? I've about had it. Finally, I'm wondering if the alternator's not charging. I did spray like cleaner on there. I'm hoping I didn't fry the alternator, but we'll find out. I'm thinking that's why I didn't want to start, just wasn't getting enough power. This one was charged up and it fired me right up. Of course, the oil and stuff in the cylinder, she's smoking pretty good right now. Sounds like she's running good. I just had to do this for my own peace of mind. I'm having a hard start issue with this thing, and it's just not wanting to start, and it seems like I cycled the key several times and then it'll fire right up. So I'm still wondering if we don't have a fuel pump getting tight on us. All the cylinders checked out really good, actually. I got 183, and these could be varied by how tight I had this. 183, 175, 185, and 190. So they're all, you know, in the same range. None of them are drastically low. So, first I wanted to check and make sure there wasn't antifreeze leaking in again, and there's not. But the cylinders are wet. Like, they're getting fuel, and it's just like they're not, I don't know. It's either not getting good spark or it's not getting fuel, one of the two. I'm thinking it's fuel, but I don't know. Right now, the fuel pumps, I had the relay out, but I don't know. Boggling my mind right now. Alright, so I'm done messing with this for tonight. I still have the starting issue. I found that if I turn the key on and wait until it primes and then wait a little longer after that, it seems to start better sometimes, every now. And then when it does start, it just fires right up like normal. And then it's just like some other times it's just like nothing and it'll sputter. So the only thing that I can't check right now that I don't have is a pressure gauge that I can measure the fuel rail pressure. I'm gonna get myself a fuel pressure gauge so I can check the fuel rail and see how much pressure it's pumping out. There's a check valve in the tank that whenever they start going bad, it causes problems with the fuel pressure, what it runs. So until I can get that, I'm just like, I'm shooting in the dark. So I just need to continue on with this and get this thing finished up. I can get it to start, and it does run good when it starts. So whatever the issue is going on, I'll have to diagnose it later, but I want to continue on this, so I need to start working on the painted parts. So I'm going to do that tomorrow. Alright, so this is going to be a shorter video than normal because I just spent the last 2 days trying to diagnose this random no start issue, and I have got nowhere. I have a couple ideas left, but as of right now, I've got no headway with everything that I've done. Look at this beast! This thing is a tank. So I got the fuel pressure tester, and I'm getting good fuel pressure to the rail. So, and as you can see, I added a ground, thinking maybe it was a grounding issue. Got nowhere there. I added a new cam sensor, which was a pain in the butt. You had to unbolt that housing, and you can't take it out because it's clocked. If you remember when I put this together, twist the housing up so that you could take it out, because there is a coolant tube back there that will not let the sensor come out. So I did that. The old one's laying here somewhere. I don't know where I put it. So yeah, I did that. Then I thought, let me go back and do, I changed the plugs. So I put the old plugs back in. That didn't change anything. Compression test, all my compressions are good. Only couple things I have left to check. I have spark and I have fuel, but am I getting fuel? I think I am, because the thing runs rich whenever it finally does start up, and I get smoke and it smells like raw fuel, you know what I mean? So I think we're getting fuel. I think I have weak spark, because I'm getting spark, but with my tester there, but whenever it doesn't start, I can see the spark, but I can't hear it. But whenever it does run and it fires up like no issue, I can not only see the spark, but I can hear it snap, because it's that strong. And I can't hear it snapping whenever it's not starting. So I'm thinking I have a weak spark issue. And the one other thing that I'm... now, this is just me. I think there's a crank sensor, and it's down underneath the oil filter down here. So I will have to take the supercharger back off. But it has to come off anyways. And I already ordered it. And I'm wondering if, well, what happens with these are these crank sensors swell inside there and they go bad. But I'm wondering if it's not picking up the signal because it's weak, but then all of a sudden it does, and it's like an intermittent, sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. So I'm wondering if that's the problem. And when I go to take it out, if it's swollen, it's going to be really hard to get out, because they swell in there and then get stuck. But I did order a new one. We're going to replace that. I checked grounding issues. There's just all kinds of stuff going on here, and I just cannot figure this out. I think I just figured out my own problem. I'm sitting here racking my head left and right. I was watching the voltage whenever I tried to start, and it was dropping down to like 10 volts and stuff like that whenever I was trying to start it. If I hook the jumper pack up to it, I just did it 3 times in a row, and it just fired up 3 times in a row. With these jumper packs, you start it once, and then it kicks off, and it doesn't work again. So, like, if I would jump it with this, and it would start right up, and then I would try to do it again, this wasn't providing power to it. So I think we just need a battery, or I just need to get it charged really good. I'm going to put the charger on this thing because it's smoky in here. In fact, I'm going to open the door up because it's fumigating, because this thing was dumping fuel in and wasn't lighting it because it wasn't sparking enough, because it was drawing too much power. So let me hook this up one more time. Where are we at on this now? 64%, so we're still good. And I'm going to try firing it a couple times in a row. I seriously can't believe I just spent 2 days on this thing trying to diagnose this, and it was the battery. If this is what it is, we're going to find out here. Now I gotta disconnect this. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. I think I get somewhere, and I don't. So this is And when it does fire, it fires right up and it runs fine. It runs as perfect as can be. So we have good compression, we have spark, we have fuel. I did order node lights so I can check the injector pulses to make sure that it's getting signal. So I did get that. I feel certain that the injectors are working fine. I think this is a spark issue. It's just like there's no spark available, but it is sparking when I use the tester. It's just I don't think it's strong enough. So the crank sensor is the last thing on my list before I have to take this to my buddy, which is a GM specialist, because he has the computer equipment and can see what all is going on with this that I do not have. But on a good note, the motor sounds good. It sounds healthy. We'll get the supercharger fixed once I get the kit in, and I need to let this thing run for a while and burn off this extra fuel. I'm just telling you, it smells rich as can be. And it is, because it keeps dumping fuel in every time I get a no start symptom. So this was a good episode in a sense. It was also a bad episode because now I got an intermittent problem that I just cannot figure out. But we will get it figured out whether I have to take it to somebody or not. The crank sensor is the only thing that I can figure in my head is not sending a strong enough signal to make the plugs fire strong enough. Either that or we have a wiring issue, and I do not even want to think about that. So that's going to be the end of this episode. I got a product that I am really excited to put in the truck, and that's what I'm going to do on the next episode. I bought it myself. It wasn't sent to me, so I'm going to go over it, and that's what's going to be on the next episode. So if you guys like this video, smash that like button. Consider subscribing. Hit that dislike button if your mom has an intermittent watching Unwrecked problem. And we'll see you on the next episode of Unwrecked. What? You can't sleep? I mean, it's nighttime, but you can't sleep? You can? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Alright then. Carry on.